So I hope I'm finally live on YouTube as well. Mark, can you give me an update? Hey Cycles, welcome. Or Scorpion. Looks like Sub-Zero. Yeah, we'll see. I really like the idea so far from you guys to have some kind of ancient ruler like Pharaoh or Sumerian, Maya, Aztec, something like that. So is YouTube finally working? That's the question. The thing is, if I look into the studio here, it shows that it's working, right? So I think I'm finally live. It's working now, guys. Finally, welcome. Thanks for your patience. Love your work. Big up. Thank you so much, Ryan. Thank you so much. You're from NID Ahmedabad? Well, I studied there I did like a semester abroad for 6 months in Ahmedabad, yeah. Okay. So if it's a ruler, I feel like we have to show more of the face, 100%. Let me switch to the lasso tools. I just favor the lasso tools for like all this stuff. I mean, yeah, it's a she, so why does she have like this beard? But I don't know. We're just playing. At this stage, we don't worry. At this stage, we just want to create some stuff to work with. Maybe it's cool that the ruler looks a little bit out of this world, even though they are not, you know, for this kind of illusion of like superiority, if that's a word. Thanks again so much, Mark. If you wouldn't have like written this, thank you so much. Let's append a sphere here. I want to have something behind the character. What it will be, I don't know. But something to play with. Cleopatra? Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to... I mean, yeah, I could do a Cleopatra sculpt, you know, and look at her references and everything. But I'm not really interested in doing like something like semi-accurate or historic. You know? This would mean that I had to work like a lot with references, and I work a lot with references when I'm doing like client work. So in these sessions where I'm just, you know, doing work for myself, I want to be like more free. This is literally a time where I'm just having fun, where I just want to play and not worry about anything. So yeah, I think I don't want this session to be like too technical, if that makes any sense. You know that the NID is the toughest design institute to get into, and you got it. Yeah, but the thing is, I actually just noticed afterwards, I had to apply for it in my university to get like a scholarship, and then go to India. And I didn't know, but then afterwards I figured out that it was like one of the best design schools, like even in the world. I don't know how the rating is now, But yeah, I loved the time there. It was amazing. It was really cool. Let's introduce some different colors. So let's go like a little darker, or like bright here, and then a little darker here. Something like that. Let's make the face like so. Ooh, I actually love the darker eyes. But let's see. So you're always open, guys, to throw in ideas. This is also not only a live session, but also some kind of AMA. So you can also, you're free to ask me like anything. It doesn't have to be like 3D related. This is literally like a session to just, you know, hang out and chill with you guys. I mean, I'm seeing it right now, you know, having a client project, and this takes a lot of time, and I'm barely able to do like any personal work right now because of the workload. So this was actually the initial idea when I started streaming last year, you know, to have something where like, you know, we can meet up and chill. No matter what I'm doing, no matter how much work I have to do, I will always be able, you know, to come here and chill with you guys. That's the whole idea. I always, you know, when I'm self-taught, so I always wanted, when I learned 3D, I always wished that there would have been somebody I could have approached, you know. But most of my idols, most of the people I looked up to when I learned 3D were out of reach for me. They were simply out of reach. And I don't want to do that. I want to be here for you guys if you have questions and stuff. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Whoops, accidentally clicked Dynamesh. That's an easy way to kill ZBrush. Clicking Dynamesh and then 1,000 other things at the same time. What's cooking? Where's your project uploads? Yeah, this is what I was trying to say. I mean, I'm working so much right now on client projects that I was not able to do personal projects for quite some time now. I think this will change in February. Like one of these projects will end now in January, and I think then I will have more time again for my personal stuff. I mean, there's so many like unfinished stuff I've already started, so many things I want to try. It's not because of a lack of ideas. It's literally just a matter of time. Oh, hello, 15 years? My goodness. Where do you got the 15 years from? Of me being in 3D? I think that's 18 years. Roundabout. Gaming to death. Welcome, mate. Welcome to another Sculpt and Chill. Still in like the early stage. Some people suggested, you know, doing some kind of ancient ruler. So I'm trying to figure out what she could look like. And then, I don't know. I really like this Sumerian idea, like, you know, really going for something more rough. I actually did some, I think, Aztec gods like quite some time ago, and I really enjoyed that. Just learning from you? Aww. You're very welcome, mate. Oh, sorry, I meant to experience. Yeah, I would say I started 18 years ago, but I think professionally I would say 10 years. And I'm on my own, or like started my first own business like 4 years ago, and I'm freelancing for 2 years now. You're so pro, man. Thank you so much. But there's like so much talent in the world. It's always hard to take that in. Thanks, Lord Silverfish. Hi, Ganesh. Don't forget to save. That's a good one. Let me save this real quick. What's the capacity of your computer? I need a lot of everything. So I think it's 64 gigabytes of RAM, then a strong, very strong processor. I don't know out of my head what it is. And then like a graphic card. I think I have a 380 Ti GeForce. I need it for Octane for rendering. Especially like for animations, it's good to have a good graphics card. But you don't have to start there. I started with way, way less. Your art's so peaceful. Thank you so much. I'm a happy guy, you know. I can't even the reason I'm not watching like lots of series is because it's like too negative. I can't watch like horror stuff and like dark stuff because I don't know. It kind of stays with me, you know. I want to be in a good mood. I don't want to watch a movie that makes me feel bad. And I think it's the same about my art. I mean, lots of different topics probably, but I think there is this positive vibe to it that I live like every day. Let's give her some makeup. Maybe like a little darker, a little more extreme. All right, and lips not as dark, but like a little shade. I don't know. I'm sorry I have to eat a little because when the stream ends, it will be 9 here, and I don't eat that late, so I have to do some snacks in between. A star behind the head. Yeah, I'll see. I will definitely change it. It will not be like a sphere forever. I will definitely do some stuff in the back. You're hella creative and talented. Thank you so much, Mondo. Since you allow us to ask questions, I said, I shall throw them at you with no shame. Yeah, go at it, bro. Go at it. Can you make a full-size scene? Ooh, I probably not on stream. Or this would be like a stream where I would stream like all day. I definitely want to do this in the future where I really like stream for like lots of hours and I'll take you guys all the way from like start to finish and trying to finish something like in 1 day or maybe 2 days. I don't know. But this is something for the future. I need time for that. And right now, the most important thing for me is client work to pay the bills. And all my free time goes into art and streaming and stuff. Hey Black, yeah, the name of this software is ZBrush. Maybe we could make this whole part here darker. Let's see. What if we go back to the helmet? Is that like too much? Oh, I actually liked it brighter. Yeah, maybe worrying too much. The fluency at which you work. Yeah, I think this is something you can actually learn. I think fluency is also like a byproduct of not worrying too much, I feel. So if you can, you know, make decisions, look at it, stick to it, and just go. If you want to make changes, you can always make changes, but you know, don't be afraid to just go at it. You could probably spend like hours in this like first draft, concept stage, whatever. But if you believe in your skills, then you will be faster. And the rest of speed comes on its own, you know. I would not worry about speed. Speed comes when you're fluent, when you don't think anymore, when you have like so much practice, when you've put in like so many hours that it's like second nature to you. Then you don't worry anymore, you just do. And that's the beauty. How are you balancing your work and personal project? Is it just, you know, fun that you don't even think about it? Yeah, this is pretty much my life. And this is it's my hobby and my work. So I can't live without it. I thought I could live without art. I even tried it for a few months. And then I was like completely miserable. That's just true. I thought I could just focus on client work and not worry about social media and all that. But that was not possible. I felt miserable. I felt so bad. And it was not about, you know, likes and being seen. No, it was just about me having fun with 3D, just doing what I love. No agenda, just going at it. And yeah, basically like most of my free time goes into art. Let's give this some color, like here. Fill. Okay. Can you like collab in this program? I don't think so. I think there are some sculpting applications for like VR where you can both work like in the same space, but I don't think this is possible for ZBrush. I like your character. Yeah, thanks a lot. I think this will be like an interesting direction. Maybe we'll pose the body a little bit as well. I don't know how much if I focus more on the bust. The reason for focusing on the bust here on stream is also because of the speed, right? I stream 2 hours and I want you guys to, I want this to be fun. Also for me, I don't want to spend hours, you know, fine-tuning stuff on stream. This is, I like it I like it a lot when it's faster sometimes, you know, when you don't have to worry too much and it's just about like creation, but not about like the technicalities. All right, so do we actually pose this one? That looked weird. Okay, let's see. Mirror and Wilt. Who knows what she will be holding, but arms look a little weird now. Let's fix this really quick here. Doesn't have to be perfect. Would be interesting to see what stone armor would look like. Rough and a little bulky. Yeah, absolutely. I think I will. I have an idea already. Because I have a workflow in mind and how to create this kind of armor. Because like I said, like I think 1 or 2 years ago, I created like a very cool like stone material that would work like really, really well here, I think. But I don't know if I would get into materials. I can imagine that, again, this stream is more about the sculpting, the character and everything. So, yeah. Your job is perfect, man. Would always like to join when you're streaming. I'm so flattered. I'm like so happy to hear that you enjoy the stream. I mean, I started it last year and I totally underestimated how much I would enjoy it. To be honest, I was always like a little afraid to stream because of like the time commitment and everything. I never thought that it would actually be like very like freeing, if that makes any sense, you know? Because I can just like hang out with you guys here and have some fun and actually, you know, take a lot of the planning and what do I do and what it's supposed to be and all of that out of the equation by just showing up and having some fun. So I'm really happy that you enjoy it and that you will be back. How do you approach shape in general, especially since you do characters? Any tips you would give to like concepting or character design? That's a good question. Let me drink. Let me finish my shake before I answer that. All right. Some more almonds. Okay, so this was quite a big question. I have quite some questions piled up, so I think I would just answer them and then I continue sculpting. You know, shape language wise, this is always what bugged me really when I asked like other artists in the industry, you know, that have been working in concept design for years, and all of them said, you know, I'm kind of winging it. I'm kind of doing it like on the fly. They do it subconsciously. They make all these shape decisions subconsciously. They know what works and how they set things up. And I was super annoyed by that because nobody could give me an answer. But the truth is, I always have this kind of dialogue in my head of, you know, if I want her to be like a ruler, what could a ruler like look like? Of course, here I'm taking, you know, inspiration from Osiris with this kind of beard and head shape, to have some kind of crown, maybe some divine big object behind of them, like Ra, the sun god, you know, with this kind of sun. So I take inspiration from like all these pieces of stuff that I know that already works. So this is one way to go about it. And the other way is to understand shapes in terms of when I do this kind of headpiece here and make changes, does it make her look like more angry or calm? Or I have this kind of conversation in my head of, does this change actually add to the project? Does this change to the helmet make her look more superior, make her look stronger? Or did she just get like weaker in the last like half hour where I sculpted? So I'm trying to have this conversation with myself the whole time, because sometimes I do this with clients, right? We have a character and maybe I had a 2D concept and I turned it into a 3D concept, and then there will be like differences, right? Maybe some stuff worked out really well and some problem solving that I didn't work the way the client wanted. And yeah, then we had the kind of same conversation, right? Okay, I like what you did to the eyes, but the nose is not working. The character is supposed to be younger or more feminine or more playful. And you have these words to play with. And then you try to incorporate that into your design. So design is not easy. And I think like a lot of people who get into like 3D modeling and sculpting neglect that fact and don't actually put effort into learning like design principles, and trying, you know, maybe make like weekly challenges for yourself. You know, this time I do a character that looks like this. This time I do a character that is like completely something that I've never did before and has like some attributes that I've never worked with. I don't know. There are even like online character generators to like, you know, spark your imagination. I hope that answers the question a little bit. I know that I could probably like talk an hour just about that. But for me, it's all about making deliberate decisions, you know, in terms of what things do to like the character and silhouette and whatnot. Wow, love this. I'm happy you like the answer, mate. Yeah, exactly. The most of the time people do all that subconsciously, and they just do it and can't put it into words. But for me, it's very important to put everything I do into words. So when I'm meeting with a client, I can describe every decision I made. If they ask me, oh, why does this look like this and did like that, or why did you choose these colors? I know, and we can talk about it. And I think this is what can set you apart as a designer, as a freelancer. You're very welcome, mate. Okay, so there are like so many questions today. I love it. I love it. Maybe at some time it's point for just an AMA. That's turning out great. I'm watching you from my work with my team. Also modeling from Mexico. Oh, like nice. Best regards to your team. Happy you guys are watching. How many pieces are in your model? What do you mean pieces? Like so far it's 5 different objects here in the subtools. So not that many. For example, Mondo, right? I just pushed this to the right and then I said like, okay, now she looks way too strong, almost too bulky. So I pushed it back again and said like, okay, I want her to have like these feminine lines. Like this is like little stuff the whole time. This is why design is or can be very exhausting. But I think after you've done it like a couple of years, or when you're like more free, and when you, for me, I admit the fact this will not be a perfect character. This will not be like the coolest design, and not everything will work. Not everything will work like design language wise. But I'm fine with that, because this is a session, this is for fun, this is for practice. And I think this is super important. When you learn 3D, you have to get the hours in. You have to get the hours in. You can watch tutorials all you want, but you have to get the hours in. The software is ZBrush, mate. You would like to work with me? Best way to do that is write a mail. Write what you have in mind, and then we can see if this works out. DMs also work, but I prefer mail. It's easier for me to keep like an overview. Okay. I definitely use a stylus and a Wacom tablet. You cannot use something like ZBrush with just a mouse. It makes no sense. I would not recommend it. Now let's select the helmet here. Just want to push this down a little bit and not worry for now. You're so precise with your pen, dude. I find them all shaky when I try. That's perfectly normal. You know what I did in the beginning? I did tons of creatures in the beginning. So I literally, let me append a sphere here. Okay, boom, sphere. And let's solo it. Like every day I started ZBrush, like half an hour to an hour. Oh, just pushed like wrong stuff. Okay. So I would start my days, like doing very, very rough sculpts of like some random creatures. And it was just for me, just to have fun, not worry too much. Because when you're working with a pen, it's kind of weird, in the beginning. And you have to get used to this kind of, to this eye-hand coordination, let's say. So what I did was, you know, just a bunch of creatures, like very, very fast. Creatures are very forgiving, you know, it doesn't have to be like perfect, could be anything. And it's very forgiving because these kind of shapes that you create, they don't have to be realistic, you know, they don't have to work. You can get away with like a lot of stuff. And this way, I practiced ZBrush like every day, like literally every day, got my hours in. And this is what you need. You need to get the hours in to be able to get used, you know, to all the tools and stuff. So yeah, just sculpting, you know, getting the hours in and having fun. Find something that you like. For me, it was like tons of creatures and weird like alien looking guys to just get the hours in and have fun, you know? KR Art Drawing, welcome mate. Yeah, exactly. If you can actually harm your own process if you watch too many tutorials. You have to give your brain time to actually process everything you've learned. If you watch tutorials all day, there's a big chance that you forget like 80% of what you've learned. So apply. Do stuff, have fun, and this is the best way to grow. I'm so confused. Where are you getting your comments? Because I can't see them in the YouTube live chat. I have some comments on YouTube and some on Instagram. I'm streaming to YouTube and Instagram simultaneously. This is why you can't see like all the comments, sadly. I would love to have like one chat where all of you guys can join, you know? That would be amazing. Awesome work, keep it up. I have chemistry exam tomorrow. Oh my. I really struggled with chemistry, to be honest. So all the best for your exam tomorrow. I've been practicing 4 to 8 hours a day and it's the best thing I've ever done. Yeah, 100%. I mean, just imagine how much of a difference it makes. Imagine you put in like 1 hour a day and someone else is putting in 2 hours a day. So by the end of the year, you have 365 hours and the other person has double that. And put that into like 3, 4, 5 hours per day. This means like a person who puts in like 5 hours per day, after 1 year, they're 5 years ahead. They're 5 years ahead after 1 year. But you don't have to always think in, oh my God, other people are ahead and other people are so much better. I should never start. This is bullshit. This is not what I was trying to say. I was just trying to say this could be your progress. This could be your progress. But also, it depends on what you can do at that moment. Like I said, when I was working at a graphic design studio, or infographics it was at that time, I just sculpted at the beginning of my day. And it was just an hour. But I did that for a year. Always finding time to sculpt and improve. Do what you can with what you have where you are. I love this quote. I don't know who said it, but I love this quote. How do you stream on Instagram? I use a program called Stream On. And this gives me like the key to use OBS, and then I can use OBS for both YouTube. I have OBS open twice, one for YouTube, one for Instagram. When you get a chance, Noxx, check out my last sculpt. Sure, mate, send it to me and I'll check it out. the thing is, I will always do my best, you know, to give you guys feedback and give you some thoughts. But the best thing is, if you want my feedback, be like a little precise. Don't just show me your art or your character. Tell me a story. Tell me like, you know, I want to get into animation or into games or into like character design or whatever you want to do, be precise. And then be like, what could I do better? I was focusing on light here, or I was focusing on materials, or I was trying to get a character that does this and that. And then I can give you feedback. If you just show me an image, I can like, yeah, that's cool. But I have to have something more, you know, to be able to help you. And yeah, in the future, I can imagine that I also do like these feedback sessions. We could do a feedback session on YouTube as well, right? You guys send me stuff and then I just look at it and just give you design feedback. Maybe model on top of your model or sculpt on top of your sculpt. I think there's a lot we can do. I want to do like so much more on YouTube this year. So yeah, let's see. So some of you said like a moon in the bag. I kind of like it. But what if? I mean, I was thinking about a moon, and when I pushed it out, I actually like this shape. This could be like an eye. Now it's, again, Mondo. You know, what you guys see is that I'm just doing this, but I'm asking myself, okay, now it is like a classic eye. How much can I push this eye shape until it's not an eye anymore? Do I want it to be an eye? If I go downward, does it become more superior? Now it looks like it's some kind of fashion cloth thingy that actually is attached to the back. I kind of like it. And when I go up, this doesn't seem to be the case. When I go up, it's still like some detached thing in the back. So I actually like it this way. Can we go to the top? So this is the kind of conversation that's happening like all the time. Just figuring out what works and what not. And then deciding for yourself what sticks. And when I do art, I don't care that much. I just want to have fun and come up with stuff that kind of looks cool, or was just fun to create. You know, if I'm doing it, art and design are different, right? If I'm doing art, it's just about pleasure and having fun. For me, art can be like very deliberate of what I want to say with a piece, but oftentimes art is simply giving me the pleasure of creation. Once again, thanks for the answers. I was just passing by, but learned a lot in just seconds. You're very welcome, mate. Thanks a lot, and hope to see you again, man. Have to go now. You have my support. All the best. Thank you so much. Good night, and see you next time. What are the brushes you use? Pretty basic stuff. Mostly like the move brush, the clay, the damn standard, and the trim dynamic. Sometimes inflate, but I think these are the ones I use the most. And I have them on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brayden, welcome, mate. Happy to have you. I need to eat some more. Sorry, I need to have like a little break of some snacks, some carrots and almonds here. See you next time, Mondo. Battle Rider, welcome. Happy to have you around as well. MZM, I'm so sorry, but I only speak English and German. I would love to be able to speak like more languages. Like in the movie Limitless, I think it was. Where he has this kind of drug and then he learns like a language in 2 days. Not bad. Just joined and kind of know the answer. Are you using Blender? No, I'm using ZBrush, Cinema 4D, and Octane for the most part. Impressed by your work. Thank you so much, man. Love from Pakistan. Lots of love from Germany, mate. Happy to have you. Coconut, welcome. Oh no, you have no sound? Yeah, I'm sorry. If you have no sound, that's only half of the experience here. And of course, you will not be able to hear my answer. Whoops. What are you on? Like I'm working on this character right now, and the kind of words that were thrown at me at the beginning of the stream were like ancient rulers, Sumeric, maybe Egyptian, some kind of ruler. And this is what we have so far. I'm a little bit slow today because I answered like a lot of questions. There was a lot to talk about today. Juan, welcome, mate. Thoughts on $700 to upgrade ZBrush? I'm still using my old version. I have a perpetual license. I bought ZBrush like several years ago, and I think at that time it was also like around 700, and it was 100% worth it. I think it's a super powerful program, and it for me $700 was like a very good price. It's literally like the industry standard for like so many things. It's quite the powerhouse. But yeah, I mean, again, do what you can with what you have, right? If that's too much money, I also understand. Work with something else. Work with something that is free. Work with something on your iPad. There are also sculpting applications that cost, I don't know, $5 or are even free. And then see if it's for you. See if it's worth investing for you. See if it's like something that you would like to learn more about, you know? And then you can invest more. Your art style is really great and you inspire me to try out ZBrush more. Any tips on learning the software visually? First of all, Brayden, thank you so much. Happy that you feel inspired by what I do. There's one very good way to learn ZBrush, and that's my tutorial on, I think it was a Krabby tutorial, my intro to ZBrush on YouTube, man. Check it out. Definitely the best tutorial to learn ZBrush out there. 100%. And if you have questions while learning, reach out to me and ask. And if I have time, I'll help you. What's Russian words you know? Oof. Nastarovia. And there was a card game that some Russians played with me like many, many years ago. I think it was called Durak. And I think it translates into something like stupid or you're stupid. And when you lose, you're basically the Durak. And I lost every time because I did not understand the rules. But maybe they were just bad at explaining stuff. I don't know. Okay. I feel like I was only talking today, and not much actually sculpting. I hope that is okay. I don't know if these are tattoos or something. I don't know. Don't want to overthink it. Append. Let's append a sphere. Have some more object. Oops. have some more objects to play with. And see what we can do here. Maybe push this like back and make it like a little thinner anyway. Do I want it? Actually, I'd like if it's higher. Looks amazing. Thanks, mate. How do you get the ideas? I started doing something that I really enjoyed, which is like asking people on stream for like random words. And with these random words, I start creating. And people said ancient ruler, Sumerian, Egyptian, and I just liked it immediately and went for it. I like the idea of other people, you know, throwing in words, because then I end up doing something that I would probably not do on my own. And like overall, I mean, I've been doing this for quite some time, and your visual library just gets bigger over time. If you've worked like on many projects, also did like many projects, you know, for yourself, I don't know, maybe that's too much. Yeah, then you just end up having like a bigger like overall visual library. So you have more to work with. And I think this makes this whole creation process easier, because there's so much stuff in your mind and you subconsciously do stuff. For example, for the head, when I talked about Osiris, I just realized it later. At that moment, I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just doing it. But then said like, oh yeah, this kind of looks like Osiris from from the front, you know? So somebody said Pharaoh Egyptian, and I subconsciously decided to do this shape, which is kind of weird, but I think this is how it goes. But I also make like a lot of deliberate choices of where I want things to go. We'll definitely check it out. Much appreciated. Yeah, looking forward to your sculpt. It's all about like a little crabby. So looking forward to what you will create. Feel free to share. I always love seeing what people do with that tutorial. Super fun to see. You inspired me a lot. I will download ZBrush Core Mini right now. Nice. Happy sculpting. Not getting paid for that. Great, learned the master trick. Thanks a billion. You're very welcome, mate. I have to keep like eating stuff. I totally forget. Sorry. Little break again for some nuts and carrots. Little break of me eating, sorry. Oh, that's a good question. Isatkov or Isatkov? I don't know how to pronounce it. When you use like more software, but in another software you use other hotkeys, what do you do? This can be very frustrating. What I do is I try to avoid jumping back and forth between programs too much. Because there's even like a term for that. I don't know what it's called, but if you switch to another task, your brain needs like a few minutes to adapt. So if you do it the whole time, you will slow down drastically. So sticking to like the same environment for a certain task definitely helps. And other than that, I think just exposure. Do it and do it a lot. Like a lot. If you spend as many hours as I did in Cinema 4D or in ZBrush here, then you don't think about it anymore. Like literally, your fingers just do stuff. Sometimes I press stuff too fast and then I'm like, okay, what did I just do? Because my left hand just presses like all these hotkeys. I decide what I want to do and my hand just presses the hotkeys. I don't think about it anymore. I think that's the beauty of you know, doing something like for a very long time. King of graphics. Hey mate, what's up? Have you ever tried challenging yourself with architecture, or do you feel more confident with character design? I love all kinds of design, man. And when I was working as an infographic artist, I also did lots of architecture visualizations. Oftentimes, sometimes completely fictional, and sometimes actual buildings. And that was fun too. But for now, I'm more interested in like fashion, digital fashion, I think. I want to push that further. I'm also like a big fan of Marvelous Designer and creating like cloth in Marvelous Designer or garments. I haven't done it for quite some time, so I can think that in February I will probably have like at least one project where I do like some clothing design. I can imagine that. I'm kind of sad that I haven't spent like time in Marvelous Designer for so long. What do you eat? I'm eating almonds and carrots. I needed like some finger food because I was short on time, so I just had like a little shake and some nuts and some carrots because I don't like eating too late. I have this kind of eating window where I eat. This works like really well for me. So that's why I don't like eating too late. And after my stream, it would be 9 in the evening here. So hey, so hi, welcome. Have you tried VR sculpting? Yes, and I liked it. It was also a little weird, you know, because in ZBrush, I'm just fast. I just don't have to worry anymore, right? I can just make stuff happen. And that feels really, really nice. So it takes time for me to get to that point in another program. So that's why like a new program always feels like weird in the beginning. But I think there's some stuff that actually works better in VR than in like classic sculpting programs or modeling programs, because you have depth. You can draw things in space exactly as you want them. For me, it's impossible to draw a curve in space here. There are curve tools, there are spline tools in Cinema, but in VR, I can just draw a curve exactly where I want it. And I really, really like that. So I would definitely, this is also something I would like to do this year. There's so many things I want to do this year. 3D printing, VR sculpting. I definitely want to get some VR glasses and start sculpting in VR. Maybe I can stream that too somehow. So I will definitely try. How are you? You know, to be honest, like a little stressed. Like I have a big project right now. Actually, two projects, but the other one has like a deadline that is not as tight. So I have time. So I can always do it when I have time. So right now I'm basically spending like all my time on like one client project. That will continue until the end of January, and then I think I will have some more time for personal projects again. But I really love working with this client. Very fun projects. So yeah, this is just how it is. I did not manage to do art or like some personal work with the workload I have, sadly, but that's okay too. There will be times where I have more time again. So that's fine. I have a fetish for chewing sounds. I mean, I would love to mute myself, but my mic is not mutable anymore. But I could do it here in OBS, I think. Yeah, I could mute my mic. So maybe that's actually a good idea. Some chewing ASMR for the evening to calm you guys down and have like a relaxing session. Do you also animate the character? Probably not this one. This one is just like for having fun. And relaxing, because like I said, the workload is quite high right now. So I prefer to just sculpt and not worry about, you know, polishing something, finishing something. That can actually be really, that can feel really good, you know. To have something that can be actually quick and dirty. When for a client, you have to make sure that for the next feedback round, let's say, everything has to be at a certain level. So I embrace that on stream, and sometimes in personal work. Doesn't always have to be in animation, doesn't always have to be this and that, you know. Yeah. Twitch not live? Yeah, because I'm streaming on YouTube. I think I started streaming on YouTube last week, and I think I will continue streaming there because it's just easier for me. I also have other YouTube content, and then it automatically gets added to my playlist there, so it's easier for you to like rewatch all the streams. Because before that I uploaded them to YouTube, and now it's basically like automatically. I also like the fact that people can like queue in. You know, the stream hasn't even started, but people can already watch. I feel like on Twitch you always have like these starting minutes until everybody like shows up, you know, who wanted to watch it, because the stream hasn't like started yet. So yeah, so it's already like a lot of things that I like about YouTube. So I will probably stick to YouTube instead of Twitch. Thanks for the extended answer. Very helpful. You're very welcome, mate. Your work is sick, man. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Salvo. Is Cinema 4D better than Blender? Oof, I don't know. I can't tell. I think they're both very powerful programs. I think they also have a different focus. Cinema 4D is very, very strong when it comes to animated graphics and visual effects. I have only started like animating my stuff like 2 years ago. So I'm still like a beginner in like animation, I feel. Maybe intermediate. But yeah, I'm just a fan of the interface and everything and how everything works together inside of Cinema 4D. It would be weird for me to switch. And now that Maxon has bought ZBrush, why should I switch? Now the two programs I use the most are like under the same roof. So I will probably not switch or try Blender or anything. I think it just doesn't make any sense for me. And in the end, you know, 3D software, they all does the same stuff. So I could probably adapt to a new software if I wanted to, but for now, I'm just happy that I have this kind of comfort zone in the programs I use most. Your Wednesday live streams are on my calendar. You're fantastic. Bro, thank you so much. I also love that you're here every time. You ask good questions. It's fun. You definitely contribute to these sessions a lot. So I'm very, very happy to have you, mate. Where do you grab human models for your artwork? You do it yourself? I think for human models, it makes a lot of sense to start with like base models, and they're like base models everywhere. You have base, I just used the base models in ZBrush. I don't know if some of them are like imported from me, but you have some in like tools or projects that are already set up. For like male, female to start from, or like tools you can load. You can also start from a skeleton and then build your human on top. You know, it's easier like when you learn anatomy or like to stick to a certain anatomy, or you tweak the anatomy, the bones first, and then you model on top of it. This could also help. Also, when you like have different proportions on your character, maybe place this kind of skeleton inside, and then, you know, create the shapes you want, or like the kind of type of character, and then model on top. This could also be something to have proportions right and stuff. What time frame do you or the client give you for a project normally? That's very different. Some projects take a week or two, some projects take months. It really depends. It really depends. And I always calculate projects depending on their needs, right? So there is no like rule of thumb. I would say that my projects overall have gotten bigger. Like when I started freelancing, I had many projects that were just like a week or two. Some maybe like an effort of a few days. All right. So I ended up not liking this kind of color here anymore, so we can just get rid of it. Or maybe I just dislike the bottom part. What did I not like about it? Or no color at all? No, I kind of want some kind of color, but just different. Probably just different. Yeah, again, you guys are like very, very welcome, like to ask questions. Like I'm happy I can help. in the past, I answered like so many questions in DMs, and sometimes I really felt like, damn, this is a really cool question. I wish I would have, I would have had that on record or be able to like share it. And this is the cool thing with these sessions, that yeah, people can rewatch it, and when they rewatch the stream, they also benefit from the questions you guys ask. I'm also thinking about, but this is also like something for like in general, like this year, probably not something for January, February, to have this kind of like a session that's completely about design, or that focuses more on like design-based questions. If it's like workflow or working freelance and all that stuff, or like in project management, dealing with clients. There's so much, right? So maybe I turn this into like a little series and like kind of gather questions from you guys and then answer them. And then you can actually, look for it, find it on YouTube. I think it's better to have something like this than just on stream, because stream is cool, but also like a little random. It's impossible for somebody else to find, right? So I think this could also be really helpful, I think. Because some of the questions I get, I get like every week. So it's probably a good idea to have them somewhere. It's probably also easier for me now that I think about it. I could just tell people, I have this kind of series on YouTube. You should check it out. It answers all your questions about freelance and time management and whatnot. What is that tool when you drag over the model and it makes like a dark gray selection? It looks very useful. That's masking. This is like masking tools. Yeah, I also think it's super useful. I think masking is actually one of the most powerful tools in ZBrush. I use it all the time. You can just go in here and then pull this out with some kind of fall off. Especially for hard surface modeling, this is quite amazing. Michael, what's up, man? Still working? Well, if you're talking about me, I don't consider this working. This is like quality time and relaxing from like all the work I do all day currently. My day was pretty packed. Like I always start like very similar. When I also tell this my clients that I usually work in like do the most work in my morning hours. So I really, really like that. I feel like I'm most focused in like the first half of my day, and I try to keep like all distractions away, no phone, no social media, not watching like any movies, not reading any news. I try to keep the first half of my day as like uninterrupted as possible. So yeah, this is how it started. Like lots of client work in the beginning, and then I did a workout and kind of forgot to eat This is why I had to eat on stream, which is definitely not that cool, but I had to do it. I will try to plan better next time. Because for me, it's also very, very important to work out regularly again. I did that, like, I think 2 years ago, I did a workout like every single day. That was amazing. I was so in shape. It was super fun. And I want to have that again, you know? I also feel like you're more like stress resistant. Like there's so many aspects to like working out. It's a long list of benefits you get. Not working out is one of the biggest mistakes pretty much anyone can make. When I work out, I have better ideas. When I work out, I sleep better. I would even say that I'm more creative because everything feels like more in balance. Can I join this live? What do you mean? Oh, you mean on Instagram? No, you can't, because I'm not actually streaming on Instagram. I'm streaming with OBS. So the whole setup I have is on OBS. I don't even see like Instagram. I have my chat box here all in OBS. I have never done like a live stream with someone else. So you can definitely approach me about it. We can talk about it, what we could do or what this would be about. But for now, it's me live streaming and just relaxing. Is that a punched in face? Yes. This is when you're like, you know, when you annoy, when you want to go into a club and you're like just annoying, and then the guy in the front like just punched you in the face. Oh shit. Nice. Let's give ZBrush a couple more seconds. Yes, because most of the time ZBrush saves itself. Actually, this punched in face looks kind of cool, right? Or is it just me? You just want to chill? Yeah, then where's the point in like being in the live? If you just want to chill. I don't know why, but I kind of like what we have here. What is this? What is this face? Looks super weird, but kind of cool. These also look a little like eyes here. I don't even know. What am I looking at? But I kinda dig the shape. Yeah, but I think it's not smart to invest like too much time here. So I think we should not worry about it too much. Yeah, I will just get to to the character again. But it's just so fun, right? It's just fun. Definitely something there to work with. Yes, exactly. Do you use polygroups? Yes, I do. Really depends on what I'm going for. Probably use polygroups more for like cleanup, polish, hard surface stuff. When I'm just doing concepts, I don't worry too much about polygroups. I sometimes I use them here to be able to, you know, extend them, or sometimes if you want to handle different objects easier, then it's, you know, polygroups can make a lot of sense. there are a lot of functions inside of ZBrush where you benefit from polygroups, but yeah, it really depends on the workflow, what you're trying to achieve, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. You can't remesh in ZBrush Core Mini. Oh boy. I didn't know that. But do you have Sculptress Pro feature? Because Sculptress actually changes the geometry and the polygons. So maybe that's a way you can work around it. But I've never tried ZBrush Core. So I don't really know. How can I ZBrush without money for ZBrush? Use another sculpting application until you can afford it. Maybe you can save up for it if you really want to, do it. I don't know if there's a test version of ZBrush. But there's definitely also sculpting in Blender. I don't know if there are like free sculpting applications. So I'm sorry I can't help there. Is ZBrush a demanding software for a PC? How powerful is your PC for everything you run in your workflow? I think I have quite a powerful PC. And in 3D, I think it's safe to say that the more the better. The more RAM, processing power, and the stronger the graphic card you have, I think the better. But again, I also did like really cool stuff on my old laptop. So I don't like it when people say like, you know, yes, I would like to do it, but I can't because I don't have a strong PC or a strong laptop. This is just making excuses. This will not get you anywhere because then you can complain all the time and make excuses for all the things you don't have all the time. This is definitely not the mindset that's helping. You can get there. You can start smaller and make it work for you, 100%. Thanks. Blender sculpting is solid. Yeah, from what I've seen, it looked good. The character at the moment looks very like being laid to rest, burial, tomb vibe. Yeah, absolutely, right? Maybe this. Yeah, now that you said it, it's also like I think about the pose as well. But there's so much more we can do. Like, I have so many ideas of stuff I could do, I could try. But it's only like half an hour left. I feel like I answered like tons of questions. But it was fun. I like it. I think I don't have to be like speed modeling every stream, you know? It feels really good to have like more of a conversation going. So I agree, there's always a starting point as long as you try with what you have. Yeah, 100%. I mean, when I started, I also didn't own like any software. I had like a student license. That was it. And then when I got my first job, which luckily was already like 3D, but it was my first job was maybe like 20% 3D. A lot of it was graphics and animation and illustration even. So yeah, but when I earned money, step by step, I got my licenses. I got the programs I wanted to learn and I wanted to have at home and practice at home as well. I also bought ZBrush for myself before my employer at that time like got it for me. I think it's a very, very powerful mindset when you say to yourself that, you know, you are responsible for your results. Not your circumstances, not somebody else. You have to take responsibility for the results you get. Sounds a little weird because sometimes it feels like, oh my God, but it was not really, you know, it was not my fault, or that's not the point. The point is like just taking responsibility and making sure that you kind of do your best and that you do the best with what you can do, or with the cards you're dealt with, let's say. For me, this was very, very important when it comes to like having your own business, because once you take responsibility for everything, it's actually quite a kind of freeing, if that makes sense. Is that a word? Freeing? Thank you so much for taking the time to stream this and answer so many curious questions. So happy to hear, mate. I also enjoyed like answering all these questions, and you're absolutely right. I think it doesn't matter if I'm like, you know, slowed down or did not sculpt as much as I think I would. I think that's perfectly fine. And I'm happy you enjoyed the session so far. You said last week everyone has a first day. It resonated. Enjoy the journey. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's actually like also nice to imagine like you're a beginner now, and that's cool. You can make so much progress. You can learn so much, especially like the first 20%, 30% of knowledge comes so fast. It's super fun. The progress you can make, all the lessons you learn. So I think there's a lot to be like very excited about. You are guru. Hey Maria. Happy to have you on stream as well. How was your day? Hi Orphan, welcome mate. I have to eat my carrot and I will mute my mic this time. No, don't mute. What about the ASMR? Yeah, I'm sorry. I just want to be polite, you know? Aren't there even YouTube channels where you can just watch people eat? And during the pandemic, these channels became like really big because people were alone at home, and this way they could eat with somebody else. Kind of crazy, right? Love your work. Thanks, Orphan. All right, let's continue here. Maybe instead of adding a sphere, let's add a cube. A cube. What do we do with that? Maybe some stuff in the background. Let's dynamesh this one. Maybe a little higher. Maybe it was not a good idea to move it to the side. So let's center it again. Not size, but position. Okay. And then we just like sculpt on top, like really quick. Maybe like with the more aggressive, not the clay brush, but the clay built up. Clay built up is like super aggressive. Maybe a little smaller. Just some like visual noise, I'd say. All right. Let's make the edges like a little more round. Bop, 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 bop. Just quickly. And then we have this one here in the back. Nice. Okay. Mirror, mirror, and welt. Boom. I actually like the dark version, but maybe we can throw in some color. You say just some visual noise. I say better than 99% of my sculpts. But I probably should have done like this paint over when before before copying. Okay, let's not be like too crazy, just like some color on top. But yeah, I feel like with sculpting, it's just so important to get like these hours in. Like I feel like daily practice for sculpting makes like so much sense. Getting used to the tools, getting used to the brushes takes time until it like really sinks in. Like drawing with a pencil. I think I did that. I did that, or I said that last stream as well, right? A pencil is a very powerful tool, and mastering a pencil takes time because you can do so much with like just a pencil. And it's the same. It's the same for brushes in ZBrush. Mastering a brush takes time. I mean, I think someone said that this what was it? I think the masking brush looked very powerful. It is powerful when you've mastered it. I wouldn't say that I've mastered it, but at least I'm like confident working with it. And this can change like so much, and it takes time to have like the ideas on how to use mask or how to use a certain tool. And then all of a sudden, when you manage these different tools subconsciously, then your workflow will really speed up. And you worked with customer projects and had a full family session with 6 people. That sounds crazy. Did all 6 get a tattoo? Really proud of you, and I see how you can be so active with communication at work time. I actually feel like I'm very slow and barely making like progress, but this is probably just me and nobody else worries about that. But I also think it helped that I've done like quite a few live streams now. I think it was definitely, I remember, I think in my first 3-4 streams last year that talking and modeling at the same time was just not possible. It was not possible. And the more complex the questions get, the harder it becomes, I feel. Because sometimes I really have to think about the question and provide like a good answer. And then I can model at the same time. But I'm trying to do it both. And happy to hear that you enjoy it. I'm from Germany, mate. I studied in India for 6 months in Ahmedabad and Bangalore. Would you recommend to start with a specific topic, like let's say heads, and just do like 100 heads, or would you jump all over the place? I think that depends on what you enjoy most. I would probably not recommend doing like human figures in the beginning. Just like when you were starting to draw, starting with the human body is one of the hardest things to draw. So I think you kill your spirit because you deal with like very, very hard things right from the start. And this can become frustrating and then you quit. And I think it's more important to stick to it than to have like a certain outcome. Because you have to learn all the brushes or like modeling tools and stuff, it's much more important that you stick to it and that you don't quit. That you have fun, and the more fun you have, the more time you will invest. You have to have tons of fun, or you won't make it through the years that are necessary to become really good at something. This is why I think this is so important. And if you enjoy heads, okay, if you really want to do characters and you can fight through that frustration, okay, then go for it. But I don't know, if you like creatures or if you like hard surface stuff, yeah, then do a bunch of creatures and hard surface stuff. Or if you really enjoy like more comic kind of characters, yeah, do a bunch of these. I think the most important thing for ZBrush when starting is to get the hours in. And it doesn't matter on what kind of topic you do it. Just pick a topic that is not too frustrating to deal with. Oh, you're not on Twitch? Yeah, I actually switched to YouTube. I think it makes a lot more sense on YouTube because of like automated uploads. You know, when I streamed, I always uploaded to YouTube as well. Now I don't have to do that anymore. It happens like automatically into the right playlist. I also like the whole like streaming setup from YouTube. And the cool thing is that you have the chat next to the stream. So I don't have to have my chat on the monitor, like on Twitch, you know, that was so normal to see like the chat on screen. And on YouTube, you just have it. On Instagram, you have it at the bottom. And on YouTube, you have like an extra window for the chat. So yeah, I just feel that the live stream setup from YouTube is superior. That's basically it. Okay, I was able to switch to YouTube. Nice, GH. So you GH Hunt. Yeah, you can have the full screen viewing experience on YouTube. You're the best on 3D. Thanks, Frank. Appreciate it. Claudio, welcome. Yeah, I just really love it. There was a time where I thought that 3D is not as important because I'm also like work-wise, you know, I'm also quite good at like concepts, not only concepts in terms of like 3D or like design concepts, but like overall, like the system or systematic thinking and all that stuff. This is what I did as an art director. At some point I did like less and less 3D and focused more and more on the concept side of things. So before actually any work is done. So at some point I thought, yeah, maybe I can, you know, focus more on like this concept side of things and do less 3D, but yeah, it didn't work out. I mean, I still love doing concepts. Sometimes I work with like a marketing agency and do like concepts with them, which is super fun. I really like it because it's also different. I like the fact that in 3D I have like so many options project-wise. And sometimes I take like these concept jobs because it's something different and it's fun. And it's fun to put your mind onto something else. But yeah, now I know that I should never stop doing like 3D stuff because I just get so much from it. So much enjoyment. So much like fun overall. Why am I spinning these around? Because I can. Does it make a difference? Probably not. But again, it's fun. And I also wouldn't worry, you know, I feel like a lot of people who are like learning or just getting into stuff, they always think about, what's the best way to learn? What's the fastest way to approach things? And if you always want to know like the fastest way, the fastest route, the next shortcut, this is not how it works. If you look for easy and fast, you will not stick to it and you will quit. Just have a good time. Stream is also almost over. We have like 12 more minutes. But this was a fun session so far. I actually thought that I would go like much more into this Sumerian Aztec vibe. I have this a little like in the back with like these kind of shapes here. We could probably apply it to some like parts of the design to make it like more coherent. But I definitely like the overall direction. Just trying to think if this is something I would actually like spend more time on and render. Feel like it needs too much refinement. But yeah, I'll see. Maybe this could already have like a very different vibe, I feel, if the hands would actually be posed. I have some like rigged models in Cinema 4D that I could use. Post there how I need them and then bring them over to ZBrush maybe. So if she would actually be holding stuff, you know, like pharaohs or like, you know, they had all these kind of assets that also seemed like more divine, let's say. So I think there's still a lot to play with. And I like that it's going into so many directions that you can't really tell, or is this like, you know, just some Is this like, you know, ancient Egyptian, or is this some kind of Sumerian? There's like different types, different form and style languages. It's not, but it's a good starting point, I feel. I like it. I like it. How old were you when you started like modeling and sculpting? Quite young, actually. I was 14, 15 years old. It was the time where people downloaded everything from the internet, and then my friend came to me, and before that, before like 3D stuff, you know, I already played with like fireworks and Photoshop and Flash and all that stuff. But yeah, when I got Cinema 4D, I was definitely hooked. Make a Tomb Raider pose? What's a Tomb Raider pose? Is there a specific Tomb Raider pose? Let me Google that real quick. They seem very dynamic, and she always had like these guns, right? I don't know, not a big fan of guns. Pistols? No, I don't know. I think you will probably, if you go through my entire Instagram, you will probably not see a single weapon. Maybe on some concept stuff, but I don't know. I'm like a little hesitant because there's so much stuff that I see that I would, you know, probably like still do or change, but it's also like, whoops, getting late here, and I don't want to stream too long. I think these 2 hours are always like good. Also, like from a viewing perspective, I feel. Don't know if it's like so good if it takes like too long. So I'm always like zooming out, trying to get like the bigger picture of what I want to do here, and also trying to think about how I could, you know, actually push this further, or how would I approach it when I would, you know, want to render it and send it over to Cinema 4D or something. I think I would like to, but there's quite still some work to be done. Or maybe I have to find like a good way. I think I also have to get back to like, you know, rendering like some quick concepts. Not everything has to be like super polished. I also can imagine that we can do more with these feathers. The feathers are actually pretty cool. So let's duplicate them. Is it the goddess of weed? Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Maybe. Does that mean she's high all the time? That's a little too much. What if we kind of rotate that? I think that could work. I think that's kind of cool. Something like that. Would love to see some work in progress post. Doesn't always have to be polished. Yeah, I think so too. I have to stop treating Instagram like an art gallery. But that's also definitely the perfectionist, you know, in me speaking, that wants to show things that are like a little more polished. I think I even got like better at, you know, sharing stuff that's not always like super polished, because I actually like, you know, this process, or like sharing stuff that it's not done, or sharing stuff that only took me like a few hours, like here in a stream, like 2 hours, maybe 4, you know, with rendering and stuff. Just a quick one. For some reason it sometimes feels like really, really good to not have to commit too much and be like, yeah, this doesn't have to be polished in the end, you know, this can be like super rough to some degree, even like, I don't know, almost a kit bashed or something. Not as extreme, but I think you know what I mean. Okay, definitely interesting. Maybe we steal like another feather. Maybe the middle one. Let's duplicate this again and isolate this one and delete the rest. Nice. Then maybe we can bring that forward somehow. Whoop, this looks really messy down here. Be isolated really quick. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. Who could say no to a clay render? 100%. Clay renders, I'm definitely a fan. And they always look so satisfying. You're so right. Can we use that here somehow? Does that work? Can that work? I think it does. It changes the head like pretty significantly. I think we have to see the helm, like, you know, in the middle, or maybe make this thing here, the helmet, this mid piece, smaller. Yeah, I think that was it. I think that helped a lot. Happy I was able to join the stream, and thank you so much for answering my questions. You're very welcome, bro. Can't wait to see you in the next stream. Yeah, see you next week. Your work is insane. Thanks, Petrus. I want to build a... What's it, Reki Man? Welcome. People love work in progress stuff. Okay, you got me convinced. You convinced me. Whoops, that was a little too much. Let's do that again. Just like the oldest trick in the book for 3D stuff. If you don't know how the feather attaches to the helmet, just put something on top. And hide that area. I think there's even a term for it. Layer something or so, I don't know. Just create more layers. But it looks super weird. That was so messy. I think it could have been like much easier. I think I have a better idea, you know, just, yes, it's okay. Just a smaller mask, maybe smaller than that. You know, just something like this, maybe. Yeah, much better, much better. Whew, all right. I think this is it for today's stream. Super Glown, you just joined. Yeah, sorry. I've been streaming for 2 hours now, and I think now it's time to get some layer caking. Yeah, I think now it's time to rest and get ready for tomorrow. Lots of work to do tomorrow as well. So yeah, I will enjoy the last 2 or 3 hours of my day. Probably doing nothing, just relaxing. So thank you all guys for being here with me. It was super fun. Thanks for all the wisdom, Sensei. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Really quick question before your stream ends. I wait to next stream. Thanks, man. Thank you. Turbar, you're one of my favorite digital artists. Oh, thank you so much. So happy to hear. I'm sorry I have to go now. I know it's hard. I really... Maybe something, this is probably not something like for the first quarter, maybe something for the second quarter where we can do like a longer stream. But yeah, I think for now 2 hours is quite good, especially because I can manage to keep that up. For me, this is the most important thing, you know, just like practice, just showing up to these live streams every week because it's so fun. Easy Victor, welcome. You're a magician? Thank you so much. I wish I was a magician. Oh my God, that would be insane. I would never have to cook again. I would just snap my fingers and like have everything I want. Yeah, so I think about magic and the first thing that comes to my mind is food. That is also like so me. Hi from Vienna, great work. Thank you so much. I was in Vienna last year. Such a beautiful city. But yeah, again, guys, I will go now. Thank you guys so much for the stream. It was super fun. I'm happy with the result. Let's see if I can, you know, push this a little further. Maybe make like a little rendering or something. Really enjoyed the session. Thank you guys so much and see you next week. Bye.